across the spot, as well as their predators. Now, watering holes like this one are great places to start, since, you know, every animal actually needs water. Now,
It's cold though.
this area is actually notorious to an animal called the black rhino. And it's very rare to see a black rhino because there are less than 5,000 of them left in the entire world, as well as they do blend in very well with their surroundings. So we might actually get pretty lucky and be able to see some black rhinos as we make our way a little bit deeper into the forest. I do actually see something kind of orange coming up here on the left-hand side, and I think these might actually be the critically endangered mountain bongo. It is, and you can see these fellows up here on top of the hill to the left-hand side. And these are the critically endangered mountain bongo. They are considered to be the ghost of the forest because they are so very rarely seen out in the wild. Not because they're spooky in any way, shape, or form. You can also see the lighter tan ones on the right-hand side up there, and those are greater kudus. They are the second tallest antelope in all of Africa, next to the Patterson's eland. And the fully grown greater kudu can stand about 5 feet tall from the shoulder to the ground. Now we are going to start making our way on over to the Nile River. The Nile River is the longest river flowing through Africa, and this specific segment is what's called the Safi River. That's going to be home to a lot of aquatic animals, like the Nile hippopotamus. Now it can be pretty tricky to spot hippos, since they do spend a lot of their time either in the water or under the water. However, on cool days like today, you actually sometimes see them emerge from the water in order to just hang out and sunbathe. Now, up here on the left-hand side, you can see that pod of pinchback pelicans right up on the island there. Now, they do get their names from the pinchbacks, which they developed during their mating season, and they have a wingspan of about 7 to 9 feet. However, even with that impressive wingspan, they are one of the smallest of the pelican species. Now, I am going to share something with you guys really, really cool. And I do need to ask that everyone please remain seated, though. If you look right up here on the left-hand side, right on that hay barrel, you can see a baby hippo.
Oh, where?
Just laying up on that hay up there. Now, the hippo was actually only born about 5 days ago. And it is actually the first hippo to be born here at Disney's Animal Kingdom in the last 13 years. Which is absolutely cool. Now, if you do look down there on the left-hand side, you can see the infamous Nile crocodile. Those crocodiles can grow to be about 18 feet long, which means they are almost as long as a giraffe is tall. Now, they do have extremely powerful jaws, capable of taking down animals much larger than they are, like a pompey and wildebeest. Their jaws will pack about 2,000 pounds of pressure per inch, and typically they only need to eat about once a week. But when it is time for them to chow down, they will eat about half of their body weight in one sitting, which is only about 300 pounds worth of food. Now we are going to set our sights about 1,000 miles to the south, into the heart of the Serengeti grasslands. This area is more commonly known as the African savanna, and it is home to some of the most famous animals out here in Africa. Now, each year, millions of these animals will travel the savanna in search of food and water. One great source of water is the baobab tree up there on the right-hand side. Now, the baobab tree is also known as the upside-down tree, and in old African folklore, they believe that the hyenas were responsible for the baobab tree's upside-down appearance. They believe that when the hyenas were tasked with planting the baobab tree, they just threw it, and it landed upside down. And this hyenas have been laughing about it ever since. Now we are going to make our way a little bit further down into the savanna. And I do see some white bearded wildebeest coming up here on the right-hand side. The name wildebeest literally means wild beast in Afrikaans, and they are the largest migratory animal in the world. That is a pretty hard knock life for those wildebeest, and the fact that they not only need to learn how to walk, but they need to learn how to run within the first 15 minutes of their lives. Otherwise, they risk being left behind by the herd, which is always on the move.
Why do they have horns?
If you look up here on the left-hand side, you see two spotted hyenas, or a clan of spotted hyenas. Now, the spotted hyenas are the largest member of the Hyenidae family. They are more closely related to cats than they are dogs. However, they are part of their own family called the Hyenidae. Now, they do live in a very unique social structure, which I think is pretty cool. Well, they're one of the lowest ranking female will actually outrank the highest ranking male. And that little guy looks so happy with a stick. Now, they are extremely vocal animals, and they have about 11 different calls, ranging from their infamous maniacal laugh to an absolutely bone-chilling whoop whoop sound. And see these wildebeest a little bit closer up here on the left and right-hand side. And since we know that the wildebeest are the largest migratory animal already, does anyone know what sound the wildebeest actually makes? So it is called, it sounds like a mew, and it's a very low-pitched grunting sound. But it's kind of cool because that is actually their nickname to some African cultures. Hopefully that is news to you. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yes. Are these all of you? Right.
I do see the giraffes coming up here on the left-hand side, hanging out in this grove of trees. More specifically, these are Maasai giraffes. And Maasai giraffes are one of the 9 subspecies. Now, one cool thing about the giraffes is that they do actually only need to sleep about 30 minutes each and every day. Think about that for a second. It would most certainly make grad school a lot easier.
Oh, look at him. I am.
Okay, bye. What did you guys say to that poor giraffe?
I'm looking at you, Ray.
He's like, bye.
It's another one.
Now, they
It's
are
another
actually
one.
very fast runners. They can run about 35 miles per hour.
He's
There
going to
they
run
are.
too, Ray.
There he goes again. He's going to cross the street.
Red Rover, Red Rover.
He's looking at you. He's looking at you.
But the fact that they do need to sleep so little frees up a lot of their very busy schedule for their favorite pastime, which is eating. They actually will spend about 20 hours each and every day chewing. And it does actually look like something pretty big has been through this area quite recently. So I think we're making our way into the home of one of my favorite gentle giants. They're kind of a big deal. Should we talk about the elephant that's in the room? Now you can see this ginormous fella coming up here on the right-hand side. And this guy is a male bull elephant. You can typically tell the difference between the males and the females by their gigantic size. And the fact that the males can weigh up to 14,000 pounds and stand about 15 feet tall. Now typically the males will be a lot more solitary than the females because they are extremely territorial. And they don't really like when other animals come around them, or other elephants. Now look at this beautiful fella. That's actually hay on his back. That's not where you put your hay? Now I've actually heard a rumor that there is a herd of elephants which like to hang out by some red clay pits. What do you guys think? Should we make our way over there? Let's do it. Now, kind of good news. It looks like that herd has been down this way recently, judging by the shape that this bridge is in. Now, it does appear to be held together by some duct tape Gorilla Glue, as well as some wire. But don't worry, duct tape is set to fix everything, so we should be okay, as long as we go very, very slowly. Or holy.
Or let's just, yeah.
Woo, looks like we made it. I knew we would. Now you can actually see those red clay rocks starting to form up there on the right and the left hand side. And the significance of those red clay rocks is that, well, elephants love to eat them. And while it might not sound very appetizing, it is very enriching to those elephants and will almost work as a type of vitamin. Now seeing one elephant is absolutely amazing. So having the opportunity to see more elephants is even better. And you know, those elephants are an endangered species, which means they are constantly being hunted for their ivory tusks. That is approximated that about 96 elephants will lose their lives each and every day due to illegal poaching alone. And while that might not sound like that big of a deal, that's about 35,000 elephants each and every year. And at that rate, we can see them going extinct within the next 20 years. Now, I don't know about you guys, but elephants are actually one of my favorite animals. So I really would prefer that not to happen. So one thing you can do, and you're actually already doing it, is just by learning about these animals. In fact, our researchers have been studying the elephants that live out here, and one thing that they've discovered is that elephants are actually extremely afraid of one tiny insect. Does anyone know what that is?
Mouse.
Mice are not insects, my friend.
Insects.
They are, however, extremely afraid of bees. Believe it or not. And they will actually use that information to keep the elephants safe. They will build fences made out of beehives in areas like Kenya, and they'll help keep them out in areas where they probably shouldn't be in the first place, like farms. Now coming up here on the left-hand side, you can see this fabulous flamboyance of greater flamingos. They are pretty great as they are the largest of the flamingo species. Now fully grown male can stand about 5 feet tall and will weigh only about 10 pounds. Now when they are hatched, they're hatched a grayish color with black feet. And that pink color will come about a year into their lives from their diet, which basically means they eat a lot of shrimp. I can see those elephants up here on the left-hand side. Not that great of a view, so maybe we'll have to go to get a little bit of a better view as we make our way up a little bit further. Now, as we do drive by, you can see them hanging out back there. Still not the greatest view, but elephants nonetheless.
Yeah, they're way over there.
It does actually look like some rhino. Hello. I can see that beautiful white rhino up there on the left-hand side.
Alright.
And you can tell that this is a white rhino by looking at their very wide upper jaws. The white rhinos get their name from the Afrikaans word white, which literally means wide in reference to that wide jaw. Their name does not mean that they are actually white in color. In fact, both white and black rhinos are actually gray. Now, those white rhinos are the largest of the rhino species, fully grown. They will weigh only about 5,000 pounds. However, even with that amount of size, they can still charge at about 35 miles per hour. Rhinos are notorious for having extremely poor eyesight, which makes sense that a group of rhinos is what's called a crash.
Wow.
Now, it is very typical to see rhinos around mud pits like this, because rhinos, just like us, have very sensitive skin, so they will roll around in the mud and use it as a source of sunscreen. Once it dries, it provides great protection from the hot savanna sun, as well as it will help keep pests like mosquitoes away. Isn't he beautiful? Now, also up there on the left-hand side, you can see these water bucks. And water bucks, as well as some cheetahs right behind them.
There's the cheetah. Oh, there's the cheetah. See him?
So they're clearly not very smart water bucks.
Look where she's from.
Now, the water bucks get their name from the fact that they live near bodies of water.
Yeah, there he is. See his face by the tree.
And you can see the cheetah back behind those rocks. You're going to see if we can.
There it is.
Oh, here she comes.
You got a good view.
Here she
Going
comes.
down
Save
there.
the day.
Come to get them.
I don't know.
I love it.
Now, those cheetahs are one of the fastest animals in the world. They can run up to speeds of 60 miles per hour in only about 3 seconds. She's like, what is this?
Let's see.
She yawns.
However, those cheetahs can only sustain that speed for about 200 yards, or about the length of a football field. Now, they will use their extremely long tails as a type of rudder to help them switch directions very quickly. And cheetahs are known to make a couple different sounds. However, they are one of the only big cats which are known to both purr as well as meow. Now you can see this giant rock structure starting to form up ahead of us, and it's home to the king and queens of the jungle, the lions. Before you say anything, everyone has to go, guys. Now you can see the lioness as well as the male lion as well as they're on top of the rock. Okay, it doesn't actually appear to be a very young male, because as they do grow older, their manes will actually deepen in color. She's like, what are you guys doing?
Olha o filhote.
There's another one up there. See it up there?
There's one way in the back.
Now, lions are very successful hunters, and they're actually capable of leaping about 36 feet in one single bound. The female lionesses will actually do the majority of the hunting, while the male stays back and guards the pride. Now, they are extremely successful hunters, though. They're one of the only big cats which are known to hunt cooperatively. And do you guys know what sound a lion makes? That was terrifying. But did you know that their roars are so loud that they can actually be heard from about 5 miles away? Also, can we talk about this for a second? Can we look at how angry she looks and how content that one looks? I feel a love triangle coming on. Now, up here on the left-hand side, these little guys that kind of have the color of an Oreo are called Bontaboks. Now, these Bontaboks are a relative of the wildebeest, and their name literally means colorful goats. Now, once upon a time, there was only 17 Bontaboks left in the entire world. Now, due to a large conservation effort by farmers, those Bontaboks are now thriving on reserves like this. However, they are considered to be extinct out of the wild. Now, you see some yellow eggs on the ground, and does anyone know who those belong to? Yeah, they're ostrich eggs. Now, ostriches are the world's largest bird, so it makes sense their eggs are equally as large. Those eggs will actually weigh about 30 pounds each, making them 25 times the size of a chicken egg. Now, you know, we are going to start making our way back up towards the village of Harambe. And, you know, Harambe does mean to come together, just as we really need to come together to help protect as well as preserve all these amazing species. And, you know, a lot of the animals that we have seen out here today, like the bonzos, are critically endangered, or they're vulnerable like the hippos, or they're extinct out of the wild like the Bontaboks. And that is absolutely not okay, because we really want to see these animals survive, and not only survive, but we want them to thrive as well. So we really need to come together to help ensure that these animals are around for future generations.